The first part of email development, and the most critical, is writing the email copy. Before you look at your template, before you look at the graphical design, you need to be able to articulate the message you're trying to convey. The lean canvas that we developed previously for your product or service, in this case we're looking at the Dyson vacuum cleaner example, becomes the base for your email copy. Because it articulates the value proposition to particular customer segments, it's ideal for writing copy. To have it in front of you when you write your email. Now we're going to illustrate how to translate a lean canvas to an email. So we're going to start with the content envelope. So here's an example content envelope in Gmail. If you'll remember, it has the sender, the subject line, and the pre-header text. And we're going to develop all three for the Dyson vacuum cleaner example. So we start with the sender. That's quite simple. It's just the name of the brand. The subject line we're taking directly from our canvas. It's protecting your kids from pet hair allergies. So that's our subject. And then the pre-header text, which you'll remember is the first part of the body of the email that is usually shown as a preview in the content envelope, is patented filtering technology. In this case, we've just taken the unfair advantage, put that in our content envelope. Now, don't stop at one. You need to develop multiple ones for the same customer segment. Have at least 3. This way you can choose what you feel is the strongest, but also you've got material for your A/B testing later on, so you can actually find out which resonates most with the customer segments you're targeting. As you'll see, they're just variants of what we have in our lean canvas. Now let's get to the primary content. We'll start with the title. In this case, we're just going to take it from the unique value proposition. It is very specific, as you can see, to a particular market, which is parents with kids. The image, we'll leave that for the mock-up later, so let's forget that. We'll just stick to the text now. Next, we'll write the description. Now, it uses the solution highlights here. So start with bullet points like this. So these are the 3 solution points in our canvas. Now, I can easily now flesh this out into 3 different paragraphs, but often I'll want the bullet points as well, because remember, we don't want heavy blocks of text. People scan emails they don't read. So sometimes just having the points is enough, and perhaps with an extra paragraph to provide more detail. And then the next part, which is also part of your copy, is a clear call to action. In this case, it's just shopping for a Dyson now. It's very clear. If we click this button, it will take us to the website and we can shop and buy a Dyson vacuum cleaner. So that's it for the primary content. Don't really need to get any more in-depth than this at this point in time. A mock-up email is simply a draft version of the email with the visual elements included. This is a key part of the design process because it allows you as the marketer to communicate to your designers and coders as to what the final product should look like. A designer can't do this for you because as a marketer, you are the one that understands what are the objectives, who are the target markets, and what are the value propositions of your product and service. So it's important that you don't simply get a designer to do this for you. Give them something to work off. This is an example I've created for the Dyson vacuum cleaner. Now, PowerPoint is an excellent tool for mocking up, and that's what I created this particular mock-up in. What you'll notice is I've created it quite simply, but what's critical here is the image selection. The designer may not use the image you find, and often won't, because you'll simply find your images on Google or Google Images using the keywords that you require. But once you select one, it does communicate to the designer as to the feel of the email. A mock-up like this allows a designer to confidently go ahead and create an email, and it's more likely that they'll create something that will actually target your customer segments well. Now, don't worry about branding guidelines at this point. As a marketer, you're not a designer and you don't need to be. This is just a form of communication, as well as being a draft email that can be circulated for approvals. Here I've created a second one for cleaners, so it's very simple, the same kind of thing. I've just changed the image, changed the title, and I've changed the primary block of text as well as the call to action.